What's up, folks? So, I'm here to talk about this new stimulus package that just is about to be passed. And I want to explain something to you guys. Okay. So, just to go over what is in the stimulus, right? I'm going to go over the basics. There's still a little bit of stuff in there I'm not going to go over, but for the basic gist of it, it's a $900 billion stimulus package. Now, just to refresh your memory, back in May, the House of Representatives passed a $3.3 trillion stimulus package back in May. Okay, that wasn't good enough, right? So for months, they kept saying, let's talk about it. Republicans didn't want to talk about it. So October 1st, the House of Representatives had budgeted down and got to $2.2 trillion that they were trying to get passed as a stimulus package. Republicans refused, again, to even talk about it, to put it up for a vote, anything like that, right? So now here we go. Right before Christmas, end of the year, you had your extension of the extra money for unemployment benefits. Now, unemployment is your max is $365 a week. Okay. Um, so they added an additional $600 a week. That expired at the end in July. I think like second week in July, something like that. So then you also have people that started this back in March who have not, like me, who have not been working since March, and unemployment benefits have expired, and there's been no extensions that have been filed. So people have just been going without or applying for public assistance. But like out here in Georgia, public assistance is for the two kids I get $235 is what I get, and some food stamps. So, and it's a regular amount of food stamps. It's not an additional amount of food stamps because, you know, the kids are here all day. They eat all meals here now instead of two meals. They would get a snack in the morning. They would get maybe a snack in the evening, but they ate most of the meals at school, and daycare. So now they're eating all their meals here. So there's a difference in the amount of food that I purchased. So anyway, here we go. And all for all y'all, well, it's free money. That's a whole nother conversation. Anyway, here we go. 900 billion. So there's a stimulus of $600 per adult and another $600 per child, which we all know is different. Last time it was $1,200 per adult and then $500 per child. Then for the unemployment insurance, you got an additional $300 for 11 weeks. That's December through March. And then what are we supposed to do from there, right? And that stimulus is a one-time payment. So then your PUA, which is the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, that's going to be extended. And also it's going to add an additional extension for those who have exhausted their benefits like me. Now, I've exhausted my benefits. I have no income right now. So the PUA is pretty much for gig workers like myself who used to drive Uber, roadie, whatever to make money. And then they're going to stop accepting applications for the PUA starting in March. So there, earlier this month, there was 16 weeks instead of the 13 weeks, but they had to cut some stuff off because Mitch McConnell wants to stay at 900 billion. He doesn't want to go a pinch above that because we didn't have the stimulus checks in there. And now he's added the stimulus checks, but in order for him to add the stimulus checks, he's had to take some stuff out because he's not going to go over his 900 billion. He's going to stick to his guns and he's going to stay at that. Even though, Democrats are trying to work with him and came down from their number, he's not budging from that $900 billion, right? They also, for the PPP, they added another 12. I forgot what the total number was, but in addition to the PPE, they've extended it. And they also added $12 billion for minorities, $15 billion for live venues, and they extended it to nonprofits. But we all know that there's all kind of scandalous with the PPP. I'm not pretty much a fan of the PPP because there's too many millionaires and $1 million companies that have access to these funds and have gotten millions of dollars. There was one church that had like $7.1 million from the PPP program. And it was another one that white dude that has a famous church thing online. I forgot his name. He's got another $4 or $5 million from the PPP program. And I'm so confused as to why companies like this are allowed to do this, but it's happening. So and then for the rental assistance, they've extended their rental assistance, which is planned to expire at the end of this month. So you got for the rental assistance. I'm sorry, I had to pause. They're extending it. It was set to expire at the end of December, and they're going to extend it a whole nother month. So those of you who were thinking you were going to be evicted at the end of this month, you got a whole nother 30 days. I'm sorry, 31 days that you're going to be protected, right? And then another 25 billion for rental assistance for those who have suffered from an eviction. So if you suffered from an eviction, I think, or are about to be evicted, they're going to help you with some rental assistance. It's 25 billion for that. And then for food stamps, they're going to increase 15%, which is what they should have done. So they're increasing the food stamps for an additional 6 months, which is strange. You increase the food stamps for 6 months, but you only give an additional month for evictions, and you only 13 weeks for unemployment benefits. The vaccine, they've added 20 billion for purchasing vaccine, 8 billion for distribution of vaccine, 20 billion for testing. Now, there was a request for 160 billion for the states and local governments to help, with this pandemic that we're in, but the Republicans won't budge. They don't want to give out money to states that have been mismanaging their money. And, even though these states that they're talking about give more money to the government than Mitch McConnell state, and these states take less federal funding than, say, Mitch McConnell state. I just don't understand these states are mismanaging their money. So we don't want to give any money to the states, because we don't want money going to those people who mismanage their money in the middle of a pandemic. Let me tell you about this bullshit ass stimulus. You understand? It's bullshit. Please vote out here in Georgia. Get these 2 Senate seats so Mitch McConnell can sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. Because this bullshit that he's doing, it just shows you. I don't think I really paid attention to what was going on when Obama was president, and I guarantee you I didn't pay attention. But if you look at how Mitch McConnell handles himself as the the representative for the senators, you can see why it was so difficult for Obamacare to pass and what they had to take out, and why it's so jacked up the way it is, because the Republicans are like bullies. They're bullies. And when they don't get their way, they will cheat and lie in order to get their way. They cheat and they lie in order to get their way. If you are a Republican and you have any sense in your brain, I would think that you would be so embarrassed and so pissed off at the way that Republican leaders have been acting and conducting themselves in light of people's livelihoods. In light of people are starving, people are no jobs, no income, getting evicted from their home during the holidays, not only the holidays, during the winter, during a pandemic, during flu season. You got all these variables going on. When the House of Representatives passed a stimulus back in May, passed another stimulus back in October, and the only reason why Mitch McConnell has even thought about adding a stimulus check into this package is because they want to try to persuade people to vote Republican in this Senate race that is here, this runoff race is here in Georgia. I would be embarrassed to be a Republican at this point right now. I would be ashamed. I would feel like I don't know what has happened to the Republican Party, but y'all need new leaders within the Republican Party because they suck ass. They suck ass. Mitch McConnell is the worst. 35 years as a senator. Your state is number 44 among the nation, 40th in economy. You suck ass. Folks, please vote. Y'all already doing y'all thing. Over 1.1 million people have already voted in the runoff. Please continue to vote. Vote like your life depends on it, because it does. And all of y'all talking about, I'm not into politics. You better start getting into politics, because these politics, they decide your life and you don't realize it. They decide whether you can get an abortion. They decide how long you're going to stay in jail for what type of crimes. They make the laws that you have to abide by. So you need to pay attention to politics, even if it's just the basics. Let's go, y'all. Fucking Mitch McConnell.